Hello, everybody. This is going to be my lesson for You've Got to Hide Your Love Away by the Beatles, written by John Lennon, released in 1965 on the Help album, which is a soundtrack for the movie. Anyway, so this song is pretty simple. It was influenced, according to Lennon, it was very much influenced by Bob Dylan. And you can really hear it in the music, and even kind of the lyrics, if you really listen to them. But anyway, this song is a really great way to get, I guess, sort of later beginner players into certain chord voicings and the relationships between other chords with each other. The chords aren't really that hard in this song. The song itself is actually very simple, but it's still very effective, and it's actually really fun to play, especially for a beginner. Another thing that's kind of cool about it, especially if you're a beginner, is the rhythm. It's in 6/8 time. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/8 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's always fun. So it's in the key of G. We got this G chord. The special G chord with that note there, the D note, with your ring finger. I always sort of hit the bottom note, the bass note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's important to get that rhythm down. It's really not that hard to get down, though. And this is another one of those songs where it sounds really nice when it's just the guitar and not the other instruments. Although the other instruments definitely sound good with it, but with the rhythm of the song and the strumming, it really does a good job of giving that percussive feel to it. Anyway, so we got the G. The chords are G, and then D, except it's not really a normal G. It's with your pinky here on the 3rd fret of the high E. So it's the D sus thing with that G note there, rather than this note. You get that note. So G, D, and then this, which is kind of like your regular F chord, not an F bar chord, but just the top 4 strings. But you still have this note here, that G note from these 2 chords. So it's these 3 with this note, and then C chord, but again it still has that note on it. So that note kind of stays like that throughout a lot of the chords. The Beatles and a lot of artists have done this kind of trick with a lot of songs, including A Hard Day's Night, also by the Beatles. But anyway, so that is the first part of the verse. G. Well, the intro is just G. And then the verse is G, D, F, C, G, and then G again. G, D, F. That F for a bar. And then G, D, F, C, G, 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 F, C, and then this D. The rhythm about this D, it's kind of the sus thing. This is how I like to play it anyway. and then kind of hammering on and pulling off this note, the A note with the open G. And then back to the whole verse again. G, D, F, C, G, 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 F, G, D, F, C, G, 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 F, C, G, F, C, D. And that was it's just a regular D. And what you do is, the trick is to, you're going to want to hit the bass notes of the lower notes. It's basically, it's a walk down, right? It starts off with the D. So that's the walk itself, but you're going to be playing this, you're going to be strumming this D chord while you're doing that walk. So really, you're sort of hitting these bass notes. Back into the chorus. You go into the chorus. Sorry. So you want to sort of strum the D, and then sort of accent these lower notes. And you can play it like this. You can sort of. And then use your other finger there, just hit the. You really want to hit those top two notes though, as much as you can. That's what I try to do. So. Then you go into the G, and that's where the chorus comes in. The G, G, C, D, sus. So that's G. That's G for and it's G. And what you could do here is you could do the walk that sort of happens in the song. G, the G, A, B, C, going to the C chord. So this next chord is a C chord. As far as I'm aware, there's no G note in there this time. It's just played like a regular C chord. And then the D sus thing. And unlike last time, you're not just going to be doing this. You're going to be doing this. So that's just. The only thing that's changing there is this top note. Just these other the open D and these two notes, those stay the same. The only thing that's changing is this note. Again, lots of songs do this. And it's a really cool little trick. Just using your pinky and your middle finger to do that while keeping those other notes there. So yeah, the chorus is G. Goes back into the verse, and then it does the chorus one more time, and then the chords for that sort of outro section with the flute, that's the flute solo or whatever, Those chords, that progression is the same as the verse. So yeah, really good song, really simple. Especially, it's really fun for later beginners to learn, and because it's not very difficult, and it sounds really good on its own, and it's really fun to sing while you're playing it. In fact, I've actually done a cover of it on this channel, but I apologize for it because it's pretty terrible. Yeah, it's terrible, but I put some effort into it. I also played like a second guitar on it. I added my electric guitar track to it, which there's not really an electric guitar on the original track. It's really double tracked. I think John Lennon just played a regular guitar, and I think it was George Harrison who he double tracked it with a 12 string, I believe, something like that. But there's no real electric track on the record. Just to make the sound a little fuller, I sort of played some of the bass notes and fooled around a bit with the bass notes on my electric. And I also tried to emulate what happened with the flute solo, but that didn't end up that great. So I apologize for how bad that cover is. But if you enjoyed that cover, then thanks. I mean, really, that's just good for you. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I hope you have fun playing the song. Goodbye.